All right, what up, everybody? We're
Dude.
back. Thank you for holding tight with us. So check this out. Where I left off was like I started looking up to gangsters. I started hanging around gang. Bleh. I started hanging around gangs and gangsters and all this type of shit. So I worked my way up, go through sixth grade, all the way. They back at this time, sixth grade was in elementary school. That was the last year of elementary school. So went to Challenger for seventh and eighth grade. Challenger Middle School. That shit was fucking wild. I thought I was so fucking cool. I remember I was always like the youngest in my class because my birthday comes like it was or is the cutoff day for my grade. Like if I was born one day later, I would be in a grade younger. So, why am I saying that? So seventh grade, I'm 11 years old, and I remember I thought I was so fucking cool, dude. Like I thought I was fucking just Rico Suave, fucking. Not really, but like, I would spend like 30 to 40 minutes doing my hair every single day. I would fucking I just thought I just took so much time, and like I always had girls hitting on me at the time. I just thought it was so cool. like and I just remember like I knew how to fight, so I was like really confident. I was just like nobody was really fucking with me. And I remember when I was 11, I first fucking smoked weed for the first time, first made out with a girl for the first time, got drunk for the first time. Like I was just like, I'm fucking grown the fuck up. Like, well, you can't tell me shit, dude. So then fast forward, I fucking suck at school. I got kicked out at eighth grade. I ended up doing homeschool in order to stay like in the same grade still. So I went to homeschool for ninth grade, and then went to Mira Mesa High for 10th grade, 11th grade. Part of 12th grade, I got kicked out. I got in a fucking fight. It was just all sorts of crazy shit. Oh, and then let me think if I'm missing anything. Oh, and then like when I've experienced a lot of death in my life. So there was, like I said, when I was a kid, my little sister, my grandma, my great aunt all passed away. Rest in peace. And then when I was 15, my second mom passed away, Dorothy, rest in peace. She was like second mom to me, and that was my homie Puff's grandma technically, but she was our mom. She would give us spanking, she would feed us, she'd make us sit at the fucking table and fucking, like all that shit. So it was interesting. Like I grew up really culturally diverse too. Like I said, I'm half Chinese, half Norwegian. My dad's Chinese, my mom's Norwegian. I grew up with Puff's mom as a second mom. It was a black family, so it was like I grew up fucking eating okra, collard greens, like the whole fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Listening to like actually good rap music. We were bumping fucking X-Rated back in like 95. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like we were on some cool shit. What else was I going with that? And then but when we were 15, she passed away. Dorothy passed away, and that was fucking rough. I also grew up with a Peruvian family and actually a couple different Mexican families and a couple white families. So like I got a really good mix of like all the different types, Oh, and of course Filipino families. I had, shit. What up, aunties, uncles, all you guys. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's like when it comes to different cultures and stuff, I was fortunate to grow up really diverse. And so growing up, it's like I kind of had a really good understanding that equaled a lot of street smarts for me, because understanding different cultures and ethnicities and the way that people did things, I didn't really have to ever like hate on things or question things or like not understand. It was like, oh, well, that's how those people handle things. You know what I'm saying? So then let's fast forward. I get kicked out of high school in 12th grade. I get kicked out of Mira Mesa. I end up having to go to fucking HSDP. We called it H-Slob for those of you that get gang jokes. Around Mira Mesa anyway, or San Diego, National City. HSDP, because there were, try not to burn people out. So those letters equal what is a gang that was in San Diego And if you're a Crip, you would call different bloods. They were blood gang. You call them slobs. And try to think how else to explain this for people that didn't grow up like this. So it's just slang stuff. But so we called it H slob because whatever. Anyway, so it was a diploma program, and it was literally just this little bungalow attached to the side of the whole high school. And it was fucked up because I wasn't allowed on the high school. I was only allowed in this bungalow. And they put a fence right at the end of the bungalow. So it's like anytime I would try and sneak in and go see my friends or my girlfriend or whatever, it was like the security guards would run up, Calvin, out. And I'd be like, motherfucker. Or I'd have headphones and just walk and like I'd be bumping music hella loud and then I'd be like, man, I know you hear me. I know you hear me. I'm like, man, well then fuck. Like, go find my girl and tell her to meet me out here. So oh man, so I was getting into all sorts of trouble around like the later into high school. Where do I go with this? So there's a lot of ways I can go with this. So for those of you that are familiar with California and more specifically like Southern California gang injunctions, it is some absolutely unfair, crazy shit how they use the power of it. It's absolutely not fair. Like, I do give it credit that it did get a lot of motherfuckers off the streets who you probably wouldn't want to come across in the streets, but like at the same time it went overboard and it fucked a lot of families and it fucked a lot of people. And it basically, what happened is if you got caught wearing a certain color, they would drive by, pull you over, and just write in the system, oh, you're a documented gang member of this gang. So literally I had like super white friends and like nerd homies, Mexicans, black friends, all these different types of people get pulled over and be like, get documented as an Asian gang member because we're in like an Asian Crip neighborhood. And it was like, yo, like, it's like, fuck, like, it's Asians here and it's Crips here, like, when, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? It doesn't even make sense. So, but what happens is once they give you that, they're allowed to pull you over and check all your shit for any reason from there on out. So I had like, because we were walking everywhere and it was like, yeah, half the time I was kicking it with some badass people, but like half the time I wasn't. And we would still get gang injunctions on fucking all these things or citations, whatever. And they would just fucking pull us over everywhere all the fucking time. So, what ended up happening was, how do I say this also? I gotta be careful because it's like some of these people can still get in trouble and stuff. So like, I gotta be careful how I say things. But it has been a long time. It's been well over been like almost 20 years. But there's just certain like gangs I can't say. So what happened was I ended up okay, so I had two friends who were gonna get into a fight with three guys. It just so happens that one of my friends was a Crip, the other guy wasn't. The other three were Bloods, and excuse me. So I saw two of my friends about to fight three guys. So I run up to go back them up. And what happens is one of the guys from the other side was going to pull out a gun. But then two undercovers jumped out of a fucking regular Mustang, regular street clothes, came running out at us with guns. I got fucking tackled to the floor. They fucking put the gun literally to my forehead. And I got fucked up, actually. They actually came back like way later and wrote an apology and apologized to my parents in person because they did go overboard on me. But anyways, what happened was the guy who was going to pull out a gun ended up getting killed at a party a week later. And it just so happened that I had gotten into all this trouble to where I was in all these different files and all this other shit. So they ended up finding pictures of me at a party holding guns. And I realized that I kind of just said that maybe with no context. So back in the day, for you younger listeners, when you would take pictures, there was on film, and you would have to go take it to like Long's Drugs or CVS or Save On or whatever and get the film developed. And then what they would do is once they developed the film, your pictures, they would put it in a drawer, like, and by alphabetical order. So you could actually literally go and like pick up and look through anybody's pictures if you wanted to. So what happened was the cops were just out looking for, or not even the cops, but the CIA? No, not CIA, the DEA. The DEA went and was searching through all the stuff, just looking for evidence or dirt on anybody. And they happened to find pictures of me holding guns at a party. And I'm like, and so that they use that as a probable cause to be able to come and like, and fuck with me or whatever. So they came, they raided my house. I didn't have anything because I didn't fucking kill this guy. I didn't even know anything about it. So they raid my house and I'm like the prime suspect just because of all these like coincidences that kind of lined up. I was under surveillance for like a year and a half, maybe. I couldn't wear blue. I couldn't wear anything with the letter C. I couldn't be caught around certain people. If I was caught with any of these things, it was a one-way ticket to jail. And like, it was fucked up, like, but I didn't do it. I was innocent. Nothing happened ultimately other than I got my house raided, and that was fucking shameful as can be. I woke up to fucking DEA agents. There's like, I come out of my room and like I come down the hallway and I see like tips of like the barrels, like the tip of a gun all around the hallway, making like a circle almost. I'm like, what the fuck? And my dad was kind of like not freaking out. So like, I'm like, okay, like what's going on? And like I come out, they're all fucking pointing rifles at me. I'm standing in my underwear and wife beater and fucking, they're like, put your hands on your head, blah, blah, blah. And they made me sit there. And I don't remember if I remember they gave me the option to get cuffed. And I was like, bro, like I'm not going anywhere. I don't have anything. They fucking tore my whole fucking room apart, dude. So that happened. Got accused of murder. Within the next year or two, I fucking, what happens? There's all sorts of fights, all sorts of this and that. So I end up, which way we're going with this? So I have a bunch of jobs. My main jobs that I would have was always like sales types of jobs. I used to work at Aqua Magic Massage, where it's like little massage booth in La Jolla Village Square. I used to work at Sears and UTC. I was making commission there. I was getting paid $4.50 an hour plus commission. And I was making loot until Sears and Kmart merged, actually. I was averaging like $22 to $26 an hour as like a 17-year-old. That was fucking loot. Like that's more money than a lot of people even make now, so that was pretty cool. Then from there, I got a sales job at Fun Bike Center. That was the craziest job with the craziest people I've ever met in my fucking life, and I would not change it for anything. Shout out to my Fun Bike people. You motherfuckers, 06, 07 era Fun Bike. I mean, maybe for some of you vets, there were some crazier times, but yo, that was like the last of like an era, dude. Like, you could fucking do anything you wanted. As long as you brought in some fucking money, dude. Like, oh man, that I should dedicate a whole story or a whole podcast episode to just Fun Bike Center stories. I'm telling you.
Damn, dude.
Anyways, we'll get into that another time. Okay, just so I don't forget. So then after that, I worked at Staples, and then after that, I've been working for myself ever since then. So what I'm gonna do is go back just a little bit. We're gonna go back to like 2006, 2007 at Fun Bike Center, and I know I said I was gonna tell stories about this later, but this just is the time period, so I'm not really telling a story about it. But this is more personal and pretty fucking cool, actually. So in 2007, right before Halloween, actually, October 2007, I broke my skull, neck, and back. And so what happened was I flipped my quad out in the desert, and I broke. I realize I say this so casually now because I realize I tell a lot of people and they're just like used to my story or over it or whatever. So like to make sure I really paint the picture for you guys, I don't just paint pictures, I picture paint. Just kidding. I don't know. That's Kodak Black says that. So I broke my skull, neck, and back. I flipped my quad out in Gordon's Wells out in the dunes, probably off like a, I don't know, like 6 or 12 foot drop. But me and the homies, shout out Broughton, shout out Ryan, we were fucking mobbing. We were like jumping these whole things. Most of the time people just go up, roll over sideways, and then like go down it. And we were just fucking launching these things like fourth gear, like fucking smashing. Like fourth gear on a 450 quad is probably like 50, like, well, like halfway through about fourth gear is like about 55 miles an hour. So we're like mobbing these things, and we're fucking jumping, and right before I hit one, there's like a hump and then the jump, and it like caused the quad to like buck, and like the back, like the ass end of the quad swung up backwards, like it did a front flip. I thought I could save it because like I'm a pretty experienced rider, and I was like, sure, like I started pulling it back and leaning back and giving it gas, and like it was just, the impact was just, or the force was too much, and it just flipped, and I was holding onto the quad. So imagine you turn how you sit on a quad, turn the whole thing upside down, add 55 miles an hour and 12 feet of air, and fucking stuff that head first into the ground, into the sand. That's what happened to me. I snapped my skull, neck, and back in 8 places. Right when that happened, I heard it all go, and I jumped up, and I fucking ran in a circle like a chicken with its head cut off, and then I just collapsed. And I'm like, yo, holy shit, like what the fuck just happened? And every time I get up, like I said, I'm always like really tough. Like I get the fuck up. Like there's no holding me down or stopping me from shit, you know? And I'm like, I can't fucking move. Like, no. And I just refuse to believe that I couldn't move. And it's like, well, what the fuck does that mean? Well, what that means is like, I couldn't fucking move. I couldn't move my fingers. I couldn't move my arms, my legs, nothing. I couldn't do anything. It was just my brain was the only thing that was working. And I just sat there. I closed my eyes. All these people came around. Some drunk dude pulled up in an old school Rhino, jumped down, was like, oh, bro, you all right, bro? And like, I remember, just to make sure I throw this in there, I remember I was wearing a Camelback backpack, and it was filled with like water and tools and whatever. Oh, and beer and weed and like, so I remember I was like, help. It was the only time I had to scream for help in my life. And it was because my back was like arched up because my backpack was on my back, and it made my head fall backwards. And I just felt like I was like gonna die like every millisecond that went by. And finally this drunk ass dude that jumps out of the Rhino, and this was before my friends could turn around and see me, or they had like just turned around. And this guy was like, get my fucking backpack off. He helps me take the backpack off, and I just lay there, and I'm just like, I can't feel anything, dude. And I'm like, oh my God, like this is it. This is my greatest fear. And that literally was my greatest fear, was to break my neck or to like be paralyzed or like some shit like that. So I'm laying there, I'm like, I just close my eyes, and by this point there's a bunch of people circled around me. My homie Burton's like, bro, get up. Like Ryan's like, come on, bro, like you're cool, man, get up, you know? And like Broughton, my motherfucking boy, shout out Broughton, I fucking love you, dude. He's like, he's also one of these people who's just like, all his heart is always willing to help, and he's always like, he's just a fucking great person. And he's also one of these people who's just a tough ass motherfucker. Like he's a tough motherfucker. Like he's not gonna stop. You know, he understands. Him and I recognize that in each other. It's like, yo, bro, like I know you're gonna fucking get up and keep going, you know, no matter what. And he was like, bro, get up, man, come on, let's go. And I was like, I can't. And he didn't even question me, which I thought was weird, because he's a tough motherfucker, you know. He's just like, whoa, it's like that. And I'm like, yeah, bro. And he's like, fuck. And then I forget if it was him or Ryan was like, well, shit, what's in your backpack? Let's go hide it all. So they dug a hole and buried all my beer, and we buried the weed or whatever in the sand. They took whatever they could, and they fucking carried my bike back to camp and brought it back home. They were about to drive out to Arizona for me. All this shit, man. Like, I'm forever grateful for that, man. Like, that was, man, Burton saved my life, and he's going to be a guest on the show, and we actually have that one recorded. We just did that just a little bit ago. You guys are in for a real fucking treat, because it's not every day you meet people like him. So yeah. Oh, and speaking of guests, we're gonna have some fucking ill ass guests on here. We already do. I just been loading up the vault with fucking timeless classics. Now, mark my words when I say timeless, because these interviews we're having and these conversations we're having, like I said, they're the conversations that need to be fucking had. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't grow up with like dads or mentors or somebody to just fucking talk to us, or a bigger brother or something, you know? And it's like, or just no big homies or something. And it's like, if you didn't grow up with that and you didn't join a fraternity, you didn't join the military, you didn't join a gang, you didn't have that type of experience, like, I think this is perfect for people like it, that fall into that category as well. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, we need to have these conversations and we all feel the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that there's a level of emotional intelligence that we can bring forth and like really fucking participate in and share and spread. Like, I've been on some crazy shit in the past couple years. So like, I'm trying to think, oh, okay. So going back to the story, I forgot I'm timelining shit here. I can go off on a million different things. So what happened? I broke my skull, neck, and back. What ends up happening is, I'm gonna just throw this into a quick summary version and then maybe jump into a little if I need to. So I'm 20 years old. My two best friends get murdered. Oh, sorry. Let me rephrase this. I'm 20 years old. My one best friend gets murdered. Shout out John Adair. I love you. Rest in peace. I break my skull, neck, and back. Oh, and I'm 2 months away from being a firefighter. That was what I was going to be. I was going to be a firefighter. I was that fucking close from finishing training. And I break my skull, neck, and back. I find out my girl of 5.5 years gets pregnant by somebody else. While I have a broken neck, my best friend got murdered right before this. So, oh, and I got fired from my job. So I have a broken neck and I can't really fucking walk. I'm just like bedridden. I have a broken neck. I have a broken skull, neck, and back. My two best friends got murdered. My girl cheated on me and got pregnant by somebody else. I just dropped out of school and I just got fired from my job.
Damn, dude.
Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was 20 years old. Like, what the fuck? I thought I'd already seen everything by the time I was 11. I thought I'd already seen everything by the time I was 6. Then I thought I'd seen everything by the time I was 11. Then I thought I'd already seen everything by the time I was 15. And then 20, I'm like, I am grown the fuck up, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, life cannot be or get any worse. Like, how can it? You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck else can happen? You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's crazy, dude. Like, I realized, before I forget this, I should jot this down, how it ties into being a kid and the decisions we made. So I go through all of that. I'll get into this too, and because this all turns really positive. So all of that happens, I'm dealing with that. And what's crazy is, me and my friends, the life we were living, we had conversations like, bro, like, I don't think I'm gonna make it past 20 years old. Like, this life we're living, this route we're going, like, is just, I don't see how, you know? And it's crazy because my two best friends get murdered at 20 years old. And I happen to be alive. Like, the fuck? Why am I still alive? And why am I going through all this torture? Like, the fuck is life doing to me? You know what I'm saying? And my second best friend who got murdered, Pablo Spider, Pablo Tafoya, rest in peace, homie. Little Dreamer. What else you know him as? Pubes. Fuck, man, that's my motherfucking brother. Tatted on my arm and everything, you know what I'm saying? And my sister, I got all sorts of people. But like, anyway, oh man, like, we were going down a fucking crazy ass lifestyle, I'll tell you that. My homie Pablo ends up getting murdered in Little Italy over $20 worth of weed, which is fucking mind blowing to think now. It wasn't even his own weed. I'll get into that in a whole nother story, and it's crazy. There's like fucking more than $20 worth of weed in this little jar, even fucking right here, you know? And it's like, my fucking best friend lost his life over that. It's crazy. Like I said, that's a whole nother story. I'm not afraid to get deep in the shit. that was pretty good timing. So what ends up happening is like I need to recover, bro. Like fuck, I'm all fucked up. So I had my broken neck. I was in the hospital for 3 days, and I was on some Tupac shit. So when I was laying, sorry, like I said, I'm all over the place. When I was laying there with my broken neck in the first place, I was like, toes. Come on, toes. I remember what it feels like to use you. And slowly I just brought attention and awareness. And I'm like, I refused to believe that my toes and legs would not work anymore. This might sound crazy as fucking out there, but this is just what the fuck happened. Take it as you want. And I just kind of like thought life back into each piece of my limbs, and somehow they fucking started working. So on my 3rd day of the hospital, I'm gonna have to get into that story too, because that fucking goes hard. My broken neck story, though, like in detail. I got to fly on a helicopter butt ass naked, by the way. My only helicopter flight was butt ass naked with a broken neck. But I guess that's a whole other story. So I'm like in the hospital by the 3rd day, I had already been sneaking to get up and like shuffle to the bathroom. I was like just practicing teaching myself to walk again. And they're like, you could die if you move, blah, 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 if you fall. I was like, man, fuck this, dude. Like, I didn't die on that jump. Like, I'm not gonna, if I die fucking walking, so be it, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck. So I forced myself, I taught myself to walk again. And like, I would just practice when the nurses were sleeping. And I would walk to the bathroom, walk back, walk to the bathroom, walk back. And it was fucking sucked. But like, I managed to do it. And I would hold that little rolling thing with all the IVs and shit in it. And like, by day 3, I was out of that motherfucker. And I came home. Yeah. So let's take a quick break on that note. Fuck, man, that's some crazy shit. We're gonna get into some even crazier, deeper shit, and we're gonna even catch back up on modern times. But I want to kind of keep this sort of timeless. So I don't really want to jump into current events. Not today, maybe, I don't know. But we'll see. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back here.
Damn, dude!